Welcome, viewers. I just wanted to show off as I'm playing Sacred 2 with the Diablo 2 full conversion mod. I figured I'd show you one of the characters here, which is the Necromancer. So I've got a summoning Necromancer going here with right now I'm running the skeletons, Ray Skeleton, and I'm running, what's the name of this? Iron Maiden. So, Iron Maiden! You gotta love a class whose abilities are named after, like, metal bands. I do not mean that ironically, I mean that unironically. Okay. Right now they're... One of their problems is that they can be a little bit fumbling. I'm still getting crap frame rate from this. I don't know what the deal. I don't think I've reset my computer yet. The last episode I was recording, I just had terrible frame rate. It wasn't encouraging. Alright, there we go. The way I have it set up, when I press the X button on the Xbox controller, it tries to do, what's the move? I can't remember the name of anything. It tries to do Decrepify, which lowers everything's physical resistance and all that shit. And if it can't land that on something, or it's on cooldown, then it goes to the A button, which is revive. So by default, I'm reviving everything, which only becomes a problem when you're near a boss. Like, once you've killed a boss, I've found certain bosses, when you revive them, crashes the game. Like, there was one in the Wasteland, I accidentally revived him twice, and crashed the game each time, and I was like, I'm trying not to revive him, but since I've set my controls up to, like, automatically try to revive every time I cast a spell, you know? It works out, I get, like, lots of revives without having to focus on it. But the problem is, you know, now I've got so many minions, it honestly would be hard for me to fight stuff myself if I wanted to. My meat shield is too effective. But yeah, that's a good problem to have, right? One wants one's meat shield to be effective. To be certain. An ineffective meat shield, why, good sir, there's no meat shield at all, is it? So in a minute, I'll turn off these skeletons and I'll turn on skeletal mages so we can see those. I was running with skeletons and skeletal mages, but then I got further up into the last couple acts and I just couldn't seem to... Actually, I think it was the last act. Those really strong demons in the last act were just taking me to town. They were pretty much one-shotting me without a real defensive buff, so I had to switch over to this. And as it turns out, revives from the Wasteland, the final act, are insanely strong. So I skipped a step here, didn't I? Oh no. Okay, I thought I was at a different bridge. I thought it was another bridge, but it wasn't. This is the worst rap lyric that I ever heard. I should just be denied the privilege to make words. So these aren't necessarily the best summons ever, but I've got it cranked. I've got 2 mod points into revives. I think 2 mod points. Yeah, and so one of them, and there's 2 mod points that boost the damage of the revives. I think I'm gonna get both of those. I got one already. The alternative of the second option is to make them, give them the ability to infect other mobs, but I still don't really have a problem keeping them active. I have plenty of revives for an effective meat shield, so I'd rather have them do more damage. Because the problem is that I don't want to lose control of the number of revives that I have, because I already have like a frame rate of 18. You know, this isn't the most well-programmed game, so I don't want to start crashing the game, you know? That would be pretty annoying. Not to mention that would further the problem of getting problematic revives like bosses that crash the game and stuff. You'd have no control over that. So that wouldn't be good. You know? But as you can see, this is pretty fun. The summoning druid is pretty fun too. I could show that off sometime. Probably try to get to, because right now we're in hard difficulty. Just started it. So I might try to get to hard difficulty too before I show off the... I'll start showing off some of the classes. I have a paladin, a melee paladin that's almost in hard. They're at the end of the jungle, so... I could probably show that off. I think it would be... I think you could make a really cool melee paladin with, that use magic staves. Because they have a buff that has an option to crank their intellect really high. So they could, I mean, they'd be boosting their weapon damage insanely. But there's a lot of ways to go with a melee paladin. That said, I've had a rough run of it, for sure, with the melee paladin, but I have not had a character that I played with this Diablo II full conversion mod who hasn't died many times. And I think that's because I started in normal difficulty. It's the guy who did this mod just added in a lot of stuff that cranks up the difficulty, so I think it makes it... I don't know. I've just gotten to the habit of starting on silver, which is normal in this mod, because I think that's cool too. You know what? I honestly, and I know this guy's put in a lot of work modding this, but like honestly, that said, it's not that much work. Most of this stuff is text files. You know, unless you want to start changing out models, and most of the complicated stuff of like changing out classes and stuff comes down to knowing where like which files all this stuff is in. So, and I'm not trying to take away from what he did, but my point of where I was going with it is that it's a shame that there's not more of a modding community. There's about like 6 or 7 people who are still somewhat interested in modding this game, and it has a ton of potential. Like, so many conversion mods like this one could be done with this, but you know, it's just not that popular of a game where people are going to start doing that, I guess. Which is kind of a shame, to be honest with you. Like I was saying, like, because you could do so much, really. Like, I thought about doing some stuff too, but the thing is, well, I started doing some mods and then I had trouble with it, but the fact that there isn't really, like, not that many, yeah, I just, you know what, it's insane. This game, to me, still has a ton of potential. If the game itself were just a little better, a lot better programmed, because it has a lot of limitations. It's a bit inefficient with a lot of things. So, yeah. But I mean, it could be. I mean, it's a 3D Diablo style game that like has the modding just is done through. What the heck? Something is just kicking my butt. I do not know what. That's weird. That does not happen too often. I got my buffs up and everything. I just don't know what's going on here. Where my summons at, son? What the heck, man? My controls are bugging out. God dang, thank you, finally. I was trying to summon something for like the longest time. Alright. Should be able to summon another mob. There we go. Anyway, it's not like I'm trying to make progress here. Let's see. Now I'm going to swap out the skeleton mages for the regular skeletons, and we'll show those off. This should work, since I have revives and stuff anyway. The only problem with the skeleton mages is they're not that... I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. They probably aren't going to be the greatest at direct attacking, but their AoE is great. Yeah, they're certainly sufficient to get some kills going. Yeah, they're freaking awesome against like weak mobs. That right there was just like kobolds. Skeleton mages will eat kobolds for breakfast all day long. And once you get into hard difficulty, a pretty cool thing to do for a summoner is start throwing your runes into your gem slots, because then you can get like 2 levels of a spell per slot. So you could, if you could get like a wand with 3 slots, you can get 3 extra ranks of, you can get 6 extra ranks of summons, you know, attached to your wand, and that's really your best bet as a summoner, is to add ranks to your summoning spells with your stuff. Oh gosh, I gotta get out of there. Wow. Way too many mobs there. Actually, I got my skeletons out now, so it should make mincemeat of everything. In other news, though, 2 frames per second. And I can't even do any abilities. I don't know what they did, but they did a good job of it. Everything is dead now. So, sorry I can't show you this with any kind of frame rate, but you can see it's pretty awesome, huh? Yeah. Pretty much. It's pretty cool. Wow, this is the worst frame rate. So I don't know. It might be the game, to be honest with you. I can't say for sure. All right, go this way. Oh, this is so terrible. I just wanted to shoot a little video so I could show off this Necromancer. I don't think I have, though. Showed off the Necromancer. You can see what's going on. Obviously not with the greatest frame rate ever. One problem with the mages is they take a while to show up on scene, but as you can see, they really make short work of a group of mobs when you get the skeleton mages going. Not that great in the Karnak caves though, because everything's resistant to fire. But that spell that they have is OP, and that's the 3rd mod on the skeleton mage. So when you mod the skeleton mages 3 points, they'll start doing that huge ring of fire. They have at least one other spell that they do sometimes. I don't know much about it, but I know that ring of fire just cuts through mob packs. So it's great AoE. Yeah, pretty much. I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much say that's that there. Wow. These skeleton mages. Even when you're not even like trying to kill everything, they're just killing everything. Yeah, okay. This is kind of like a relatively quiet spot. So I'll just say, yeah, there we go. That's the Necromancer you can see there.